Y'all, welcome back. This is another episode of Real Women, Real Talk. And I am Trenace Richardson. I am the founder of Real Women, and I'm so glad y'all are here. I am joined by my sister, and she is.
I am the fantabulous Shavon Carter, one of the facilitators for Real Women.
Yep, that she is. And you have joined us for another, as Siobhan would say, fantabulous episode of Real Women, Real Talk. We are so glad to have you. This is our opportunity to just give you a sneak peek of what it's like to be in a Real Women Sister Circle. We are going to share much more information about Real Women with you as we move through this episode. For now, we want to jump right in because y'all came in for a conversation, and that's what we're about to have. We start off with our Real Talk segment, and we just want to know how you doing. And so I get to ask live and in color, Siobhan, how are you doing today, sister? Real talk.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just feeling real grown. You know,
Mm.
I'm just, I don't know what it is. You just wake up and you're like, I'm grown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
grown. And I don't know what that means. I just feel like I'm grown. That's it.
Well, you know what's funny about that is it's different. What you just said is different than what I've heard from you before because I've heard you get excited about some milestones in your life when you were doing some adult things,
Yeah.
like you was painting, like people get an apartment or buy a house, that kind of thing. But when you decide to paint the whole place or
Yeah.
redecorate or that kind of stuff, you're like, I'm doing my adult stuff. That
Yeah.
didn't sound like what you just said. You said, I'm grown.
I'm just grown.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't even have the words to back up what that means. It's just a feeling or a being like I am mature, I am growing, I am a phenomenal woman. Yep.
Mhm. It,
Hmm.
it's a confidence, it's a level of knowingness.
Yes.
Like I know me in my knower
Yes.
in a
Yes.
different way. If I think about my 20s and then
Hmm.
my 30s, like I was still figuring it out. And
Yeah.
there are layers. I'm still
Yeah.
figuring some stuff out, but
Mhm.
it's a different. You are grown.
I'm
Mhm.
grown. And you know how used to hear the some of the seasoned women say, honey, just keep on living. I
Mhm.
that now. I really do. Because
Yeah.
things that I used to be attracted to, that I used to like, and it's like, I'm grown. I don't like
Mhm.
it. I don't want that. So,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Little kids play with toys. I don't have
You
time
know
to
what
play.
I'm saying?
Mhm. It's so true. It is so true. Well, I think in addition to agreeing totally with your how you doing, I love that. Um in addition to that, I think I'm tired.
Okay.
I'm tired, and
Yeah.
it lets me know like I was looking forward to a season of busyness because all the things that I planned for the month of September at the time of this, it's what mid to going into late October
Yeah.
when this is airing, and so um, currently and by the time this airs, I would have spent a lot of time doing the things that I love,
Yeah.
a lot of speaking, a lot of traveling. And now I'm winding down.
Yeah.
I'm winding down. I remember saying in a couple of episodes ago, because we unabashedly, unashamedly tell y'all we listen to our own episodes because
Yes. You
we love this podcast. And so so I was listening recently to a couple of episodes ago and I was saying how I was moving from the summer and the summer energizes me
Yeah.
in order to be productive during this fall season.
Hmm.
And I'm good now. I'm good.
I've been productive enough. All right.
Oh, I'm
Let's do
good. I'm
something
good.
else.
Let's settle on in now. Get ready for the winter. So I'm looking forward to some respite
Okay.
that
Mhm.
comes with My 9 to 5 has an automatic respite that comes with the winter break,
That's beautiful.
and then as it gets colder, there's less outdoorsy stuff happening anyway. So I'm looking forward to all the things. So I'm
Yeah,
good.
so
Mhm.
great. Mhm.
Rejuvenating.
Yeah.
So, in addition, thank you for letting me know how you're doing. We really want to know how you all are doing. I'll give you an opportunity of how you can share that with us in a moment. But I want to layer that
Uh-huh.
with another real talk question, because since we are in our grown girl ages, our grown woman
Yeah.
season, we know ourselves. And so I want to ask you, Shavon, what kind of decision maker are you? Are you the kind of person when it comes down, they say we make thousands of decisions a day. And so it might depend upon the type of decision, but typically, if you look over the span of your decision making, are
Mhm.
you the kind of person who's hasty and spontaneous? You're going to do from your gut what you instinctively feel? Or are you very thoughtful and very slow about making a decision and going through all the pros and the cons?
Yes, to both.
I love that.
It
Oh.
depends on the situation. So, for example, when it comes to buying making a big purchase like a home, I am very methodical, strategic. Let me plan it out. Let me think about it. There is some impulsiveness when it comes to that too, though,
Mhm.
because, like, for instance, this house that I'm in now, when I came and I saw and I was like, oh, this is nice, my impulse was like, oh, I want this one. I didn't want to
Mhm.
look at others. However, I did not make a move until I knew for sure that I had my ducks in a row and I was able to make that purchase because it was such a large purchase. So it's both and.
Mhm.
In the past, when it has come to relationships, definitely impulsive and like, or my therapist would say compulsive,
Mhm.
because I was aware of the decisions that I was making and I would still make them without taking a beat and just pausing for a second. So very compulsive decisions when it comes to relationships. Um, yeah, so it's both. It just depends on the situation, honestly, for me.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I would say that I am intuitively and instinctively spontaneous. I want to be from what does my gut feel? This is the decision I want to make. That's who I am intuitively.
Hmm.
Um, I have learned over time to
Yeah.
be to become more methodical and more deliberate about the decisions that I make,
Yeah.
so that I can think through a bit of the consequences or
Mm.
the benefits of what I'm deciding. What's funny, you mentioned the house buy. Before, as my husband and I started doing some house hunting together,
Yeah.
um, he used to get so frustrated with me because we would go meet a realtor, and
Yeah.
you're supposed to put your game face on, like, I could take or leave this house because you're trying to get the best deal. Child, not me. When he first took me out, I'm like, oh my God, I love this house.
Yeah.
This is it. This is it. He was like, if you don't shut up, I'm
Yeah.
trying to get this for the best price. So I mean, I wear instinctively, I wear my feelings, my thoughts,
Yeah.
I'm ready to share.
Yeah.
And so I have learned over time that that's
Yeah.
probably not the best thing to do in every scenario. So
That's how I am about cars. Like right now, I am
mhm,
choosing not to give in to my impulses to go and buy another car. But as soon as I see something, I get this rush and I'm like, I want this one. And it's like,
mhm.
wait. So I like you said, you had to learn how to calm yourself down and just pause a little bit before you move forward. But yeah, I am definitely an intuitive and just feelings type of girl. Like it just feels right.
Mhm. I just wanna do it because I feel it. I know it's right. I know it's right. I don't have to
Right.
go through all of that y'all gotta go through because
Yeah.
I feel it in my gut.
In my
Um,
nose. Yeah.
yeah, but it's funny you said that about cars because I I'm almost ashamed to say this. I need to whisper so she don't hear me outside.
Okay.
But I think I'm feeling like I'm ready to buy another car. I just
Oh,
don't want her to hear me.
okay. Okay.
Because I don't want her to start doing nothing crazy
Right.
because her
Exactly.
feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
But I have to keep a convertible, right? And I
Yes.
just haven't found another convertible. I have a 15-year-old who is a man now as far as his size.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so just the size, I need a bigger convertible, but to
Yeah.
find a convertible that I like,
Yeah.
because I like round line. I don't like straight lines and
Okay.
boxy cars. I like
Got you.
my bug is amazing to me,
It
and I
is
just
so cute. Yeah.
yeah, a little bigger. So we'll see. I'm
Mhm.
being methodical about that one too.
Yeah.
Mhm. So thank you for that. And y'all, we really do not only want to know how you're doing, but we would really like to know what kind of decision maker are you? Are
Mhm.
you hasty? Are you instinctive and intuitive, like like we described initially? Or are you very methodical and very rational and logical about your decision making? You can reach us at speakpipe.com/real women real talk or email us at info@realwomenrock.org. We would love to hear from you and where you are on this real talk. And I want to use this real talk, sister, to get into our deep dive because it is connected and related. As a matter of fact, it's connected to a sister circle that just recently occurred in person. And we had an amazing time coming back to the Real Women Charles County, Maryland Sister Circle. We had some newcomers that were just like, oh my God, where have y'all been all my life? And I'm like, we're here, we right here. So the topic was see you at the crossroads, crossroads, see you at the
Lonely.
yeah. And of course, we won't talking about that crossroads.
Right. Right.
I was
Not
like, when we were advertising, I was like, I would love to use that song, but
mm-mm, no.
mm-mm.
We don't mean that.
We don't mean that. It really is about our decision making when we come to where we have to make a decision. And on any level, we are at a crossroads. We are
Yeah.
at, do I go this way or do I go that way? And
Yeah.
so, whether it's what am I going to eat today, or
Mhm.
whether it's the big decisions, what job do I take, or do I stay, or do I go when it comes to this relationship, all of those small and large decisions put us at a crossroads in our lives. And so, sister, I want you to give this some thought. I can give more context if you need some time to think about it, or I can tell you mine.
Mhm.
But I want to go ahead and dive deep.
Okay.
We in that
So,
segment.
mhm.
Um, where are you at a crossroads in your life currently? Anything you are at a crossroads about in your life right now?
Mhm. Yeah. Um, I feel like all of my life lessons are around relationships. I guess that's just my journey, and it's going to be where I learn the biggest lessons. And so, uh, the crossroads I am at, to be honest, is whether I desire to have a season where I am just with myself, or whether I desire to do a both and where I'm enjoying myself and really doing some more exploration and discovery and have a companion in the midst of that. So I am at a crossroads of figuring out what I desire to do and what that will look like for me. Because one of my sisters so eloquently shared that I tend to go to extremes when it comes to
Mhm,
situations. And so I
mhm,
really have been thinking about that. And I do have a either or, black or white thought process when it comes to things sometimes. And so it really helped me to really think about the this and that as opposed to this or that. So that's kind
mhm,
of where I am right now. I've, been taking some time with myself, but just wondering, do I want to have some companionship on as I am on this journey, So yeah, I'm at a crossroads with that.
That's good. I'm so glad that you're thinking about that. I see them here, this or that,
Yeah.
this and that. Like you get to choose, and that is an option. It's not just two options. There's some middle ground in there that you could choose. So I love that. I love
Yeah.
that for you.
Mhm.
Okay, so we are gonna do some work. This is a sneak peek into a sister circle, but we're gonna activate some of what we would normally do in Real Women. So hold on to your scenario, your crossroads.
Mhm.
I have a couple that I could use. I think you went deep, so I'll go deep. I'll just say, um, I'm really trying to figure out in this last half of my life
Mhm.
when and how to take leaps
Ooh,
um, that are big. Like we,
okay.
we talked in an earlier episode, quantum leaps, right? So I have been doing professionally and passion wise what
Mhm.
is safe for me.
Yeah.
And some people feel like, that maybe from the outside looking in, it doesn't feel like I'm just in some comfort zone, that I'm doing some wonderful things and, all of that. I
Mhm.
know me. And so I know for me, I am in a comfort zone, a safety net, and related to my passions when it comes to my music,
Mhm.
related to some very core passions for myself right now, related to living um, more in a more natural state. So just really buckling down and doing what it takes to get the land to move into a space of living in a more natural
Mhm.
environment that allows me to peel away some of the extras that I have going on.
Yeah.
And then does that connect to what I do 9 to 5? And if so, how does that need to shift or change? All of those things are connected to me living my most authentic life,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And for me, it's like, time isn't increasing. It's there are less days than there are more days ahead of
Right.
me. So really making those decisions sooner rather than later, and jumping on them. And what is keeping me from making certain decisions, even if it's, let's say it's finances or this or that, why am I not making the decisions now that would move me closer to that sooner, right? So just smaller decisions leading to a bigger leap. Um, those are crossroads, mini and mega crossroads.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so I'm keeping that at the forefront while we talk about this,
Okay.
and want you all to do the same. So if there's something that you're at a crossroads about, maybe you grab a hold to one of those in your mind or your heart right now, so that as we talk through this, you're able to do this with us. um, because I'm wondering, when it comes to something like this, you could broaden it to something else, but
Mhm.
when it comes to something like this, what do you like as it relates to getting to know yourself, Shavon? What do you like about the way you handle the decision making process, and what do you dislike about it? And I just want to say, this
Mhm.
is not only about making the decision,
Right.
but it's about thinking about the way we make the decision, the
Yeah.
process. Yeah.
I really love that I go inward and I go on a deep dive within myself to find the answers,
Mhm.
like to find what my truth is. I do a lot of exploring, like I talk about a lot of journaling, back in therapy. So just processing with my therapist. So I like that I go within and that I also reach out for support. to help with my decisions, especially some of the major ones. So I like that I reach out to resources. I try to understand. I try to read up on stuff. So I really like the data gathering aspect of it. Like in the instance of a car, like even though I can be impulsive once I get to the dealership, I have done some research to gather to figure out where the car is, what are my options. So I like the data gathering piece of the decision making. What I dislike is in some decisions, like I said, the compulsive or the impulsive nature of just going with feeling so much that I haven't given myself space to pause and think and
Mhm.
explore. And sometimes I'll jump into something without thinking about it. And then once I'm in it, then I start thinking about it and
Mhm.
thinking about. And so it's the conflict that it creates within me that I don't like. So if I just kind of wait a little bit before I make the decision, then it can help with some of my inner conflict and just reducing that. So that's what I would say I dislike about
Mhm.
that
I
part.
love I love I'll use the words again, the this and the that
Yeah.
you are thoughtful and deliberate. You have done your research and it
Mhm.
that feeds your instincts and your
Yeah.
gut about what you want to do. I love that.
Mhm.
Um, I when I thought of these questions, I didn't think about what my answers would be, and then
Mhm.
to flip them on myself and then ask myself, I came at it from a different way.
Okay.
Um, because what I like about the way that I handle decision making um, is that I like that I do have this gut instinctive like feeling. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that um, I have a knowingness about something. And I've said earlier, sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm not, but
Mhm.
I love that there's something in me that speaks to me. That's
Yeah.
like, that's like, do it or don't do it,
Yeah.
and it'll be good for you or it won't be.
Mhm.
I love that. I dislike that I don't listen to that. And I know
Ah,
I know all of what I said, earlier
mhm.
about needing to sometimes slow down,
Mhm.
but I wish I trusted her a bit
Mhm.
more. I wish I took a risk on her a bit more. That
Yeah.
part of me. I wish I just um and it's I mean, I don't even care whether it feels like I'm, contrary to how or what I said earlier because it's still
Mhm.
true I live, I'm a mixed bag. I am complex. I'm a whole person. And
Yeah.
so as a result, I really do wish I listened to her more because I believe she's there. She's in me speaking for a reason.
Mhm.
Um and And it is, I believe, the sacred holy part of me
Mhm.
that speaks up in instances. And it's almost like when you think about relationships, when you're dating or when you're first meeting somebody and you get some red flags here and there and you decide, oh, I'm gonna ignore that. No, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna keep going
Yeah.
because I want to see how this plays out. Or
Yeah.
but you heard it a whisper, even if it was a whisper before. I hear her. Often. And it's so funny because there were times when I would hear her less because I ignored her.
Yeah.
So
I
so
gotta
yeah, go ahead, please.
'Cause I'm glad that you mentioned that because when you talked about what you loved about having that instinct and that gut, feeling, I was gonna ask, how do you know? Like, how do you, if for some people watching, how do you get to a point where you do trust her, like that part of you? What does that look like?
Yeah, child. So I'll say in in the circle, what came up was for some sisters who were in the physical circle, some were saying that they just had to turn off listening to other people and just quiet the noise And that typically helped them hear themselves and trust themselves. Not asking anybody else meant I had to make a decision for myself, is
Yeah.
what they were saying. Um, I don't tend to do a lot of that. Like, I have a very small circle of people that I
Mhm.
I bounce things off of,
Yeah.
and I don't even just jump because they said you should do it or not, you
Right.
know? So, I don't know that I needed that. I think if I were to answer what helps me trust myself, I that's the issue. I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
And because here, oh, this is bad, but this is the truth. I don't know if it's bad. It's just I'm if anything, I'm just coming to this realization as we're talking.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
I'm feeling like, ooh, I'm just realizing this.
Mhm.
Earlier on, I trusted her more because I connected her to the Holy Spirit's voice.
Mhm.
And so I othered that voice.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
And othering that voice made me trust her more
Yeah. Yep.
because now the Holy Spirit in me is not some separate entity from me.
Mhm.
And because I know that my inner knower is heaven sent, it is God created, God gave me that. Um, I think I am learning to trust her without othering her.
Mhm. Yeah. That makes
This
sense.
Oh
I
my
get
God.
I get that. Yep.
So 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 now all bets are on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I can't blame anybody.
Mhm.
And so for some people, the language is it's all on God. And
Mhm.
so if I make a decision and it don't work out, it was on God.
Yeah.
What else? You was working with God. Come on
Yeah.
here now. God
Yeah.
didn't do, like, let's just be real. God didn't sign the papers. You signed the papers. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh,
let's just be honest about the fact that we work in concert with the God in us.
yeah.
And
That's so
so
good.
yeah, just try just that was a lot to answer that question, but I hope that that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's important to me, how I make decisions and
Yeah.
knowing that for myself, because then I can um there's a process by which, because I think some people get stuck
Mhm.
at a crossroads
Yeah.
because it's like, what do I do?
Mhm.
I don't know how. I don't know who to listen to. I don't know what process to go through in
Mhm.
order to make a decision. So I'm not going to move. I'm not
Mhm.
going to do anything, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not talking about people. I'm actually talking about me, because it's possible for me to do that too.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I wanted to shift for all of us, myself included,
Mhm.
what it looked like to be at a crossroads,
Mm.
right?
Right, uh-huh.
Because when we visualize, if you see yourself at a fork or a path that has many roads, paths that you could take,
Yeah,
right? And we look backward and there's one road that we've taken to get here. It
yeah,
might have some winds and some turns to it, but
yeah.
we are on a road and we are about to take a new turn.
Mhm.
With that can be anxiety, can be, frustration, can be, some level of nervousness, like whatever the feelings are. What are some of the feelings that you feel when you're right there, Shavon?
Definitely anxiety and fear.
Mhm.
Fear is probably the biggest emotion that I feel when I'm at a crossroads because of
Mhm.
so many
Mhm.
thoughts that I have about, my decision making. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So because those we haven't really named a lot of positive feelings, right? Because woo, what do we do,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
so I just wanted to picture this. I see myself right here. I
Yeah.
wanted to picture this differently.
Yeah.
And some thoughts, some research, some quotes help me see. I can't say past tense. They are helping me see this differently for myself
Yeah.
as I'm working through this process.
Uh-huh.
So I just want to read some of them. I want to share some of them really quickly before we move into what might be some things that could help us.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the thoughts or quotes that I found by a person named Story Water says, when you are standing at a crossroad in your life, realize that the greatest block that you can put in front of yourself is the idea that there is a right choice.
Girl, who you said? Wait, hold on. Let me write this down. You said who said that now? The lady?
Story Water.
Oh,
Story Water. I don't even know if it's a male or female or non binary. I don't know.
wow.
Story Water. When you are standing at a crossroads in your life, realize that the greatest block that you can put in front of yourself is the idea that there is a right choice.
Wow.
Because what that did for me was that's what keeps me from making the freaking decision. Because
Yeah.
I'm trying to choose the right
Right.
one,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just choosing, like just choose, just pick one. Like, and that might sound flippant to somebody, but listen, Yogi Berra, this is another quote. Yogi Berra, I'm going somewhere, I promise. This will be just a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Yogi Berra said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. That's like you answered that question earlier. I was like, are you hasty or are you slow to make a decision? You were like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yogi said, when you come to the fork in the road, take it. Take the fork. Like, which one you gonna do? Just do it, you know? Take the whole fork. Like, try this one and then try that one and then try that one. Like, there just doesn't have okay. Um, last quote. I got some other thoughts, but I'm gonna ask you what you think about these quotes, and then I'll move on to something else.
Uh-huh.
But the last quote is sometimes, and this is by Mandy Hale. Sometimes it takes a wrong, quote unquote, wrong turn to get you to the quote unquote right place. So, how many of us have experienced? I thought that was just jacked up, messed up, but it brought me here, or it brought me to this place. It helped me get. Oh, I feel it myself. I feel it myself. I feel it myself. Sometimes it takes whatever we thought was not the right one to get us to the right one. What's going on, sister?
So the first quote really hit me. And I can't remember, but it was the word right
Mhm.
that was
Choice.
in there because I know the way my mind is set up, there is a right way to do something and a wrong way. And I have gathered a whole lot of information, and it is because of my profession of being an auditor for over 20 something years. There is a criteria that you are supposed to govern yourselves to, and you measure it against. And I have developed criteria that I have pulled from all the places I don't even know that is telling me there's a right way to do something and a wrong way. And so the fear associated with making decisions is because I have judged myself and felt wrong for past decisions. And so
Mhm.
because I deem my decisions as being wrong, I have to put a lot of pressure on myself to make the right choice so that I don't make another wrong decision. And that is creating so much anxiety. But
Mhm.
looking at it from the way you just described it, there are options, there are paths. I am on a journey of choice. And so, whatever decisions I make, it's just a choice. And then we experience it and then we figure out the next thing. And so, it's a learning process for me as opposed to feeling like I have to get it right this time, you know?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that just really hit me and just made me emotional. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Thank you for that. I
Yeah.
I so agree. I think it helps to shift perspective. And sometimes that's all we need is a shift in perspective,
Yeah.
or sometimes it's just the first thing we need to move us down the road to, to a better process of
Yeah.
moving and being.
Yeah.
So I have one other thought before we kind of give maybe some consideration to what someone might do
Yeah.
with decision making moving forward. The other thought is, hmm, so the first thing we've decided is, or we've agreed with these quotes anyway, that there's not a right path, right? There's not a right choice. That they are all choices,
Yeah.
and we get to we get to choose which one we want to experience. And there is nothing about our lives that says we can't decide, I don't like this, I
Yeah.
will decide something else. Like there's nothing. And I will even put marriage in that category, right?
Mhm.
I have been blessed to be married for 25 years, but
Yeah.
it is a choice every day of every week of every month of every year for me and my husband, right?
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
we decide, we make a choice to stay on the road or to go,
Yeah.
to choose to do something else. And so
Mhm.
everything is a choice, and
Choice.
you can unchoose at any point in time, right?
Yeah.
So that's decided. But not only that, me being at this crossroads, me being at this point, I literally want you to feel and see, just
Yeah.
visualize for yourself the actual X that marks the spot.
Yeah.
That place, that place is considered by so many cultures and religions and belief systems as a magical place.
Huh.
The actual crossroad, the actual intersection
Yeah.
is symbolic of a magical place. For those of us who had to study Greek mythology in school, right? Almost all of us had to do some of that in school, depending upon what subjects we took. In ancient Greece, crossroads were seen as places where spirits or supernatural beings dwelled. They were considered spaces where it connected the earthly realm and the divine. And
Mhm.
so they had, wisdom and guidance was bestowed for those who decided to come to a crossroads.
Yeah.
And so in the Hindu religion, and I'm a teacher of world religions, and so I have chosen for my life the Christian faith, and I'm a Christ follower, but I respect other religions and honor the fact that other faith traditions are, out here. And so Hinduism, crossroads are sometimes associated with a queen of crossroads. And in Hindu rituals, crossroads are considered auspicious locations for performing specific ceremonies or making offerings. And so it happens at a crossroads.
Mhm.
And then what is most meaningful for me, there are some African or African diaspora religions that hold significant spiritual importance at the meeting points at crossroads, because they consider that the realm that right between the realm of the living and the spiritual, the natural and the spiritual. And
Mhm.
so they become this magical place. There's something in you, if you want to just bring it, right here today.
Mhm.
There are places called energy vortexes. There are literally places around the country that people will tell you go there because you feel the energy differently. One
Yeah.
of them is Sedona, Arizona. I just know
Okay.
that one, like I haven't been, but I want to
Oh
go
my go.
because
Yeah.
yes, everybody who has gone, whether they believe in that stuff or not, they will
Yeah.
tell you it is a magical place. You feel something different there. And
Wow.
so that's a vortex. That's a place where supposedly there's a lot of intersection of energy there. So
Wow.
whether you believe any or all of that or not, just being able to know that this is a place of opportunity. Like,
Wow.
there are some people who wish they were above ground to make a choice
Choice. Yeah.
about anything.
Yeah.
There are some people who are so limited they can't even see options in their lives.
Yeah.
We are anxious because we got so many choices, or we
Yeah.
got, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
to see this as an opportunity to
Mhm.
be, I get to choose.
Yeah.
I get the opportunity to choose and
Yeah.
try something out. It makes me more excited in this moment. I know every day is not going to be like this, but I can remind myself
Yeah.
and remember that this is an opportunity I can be excited about. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So, with that being said, sister,
Yeah.
I'd like to know from you, because I have some thoughts based on the circle and based on and we want to know what you all think. So please bring that back to us by going to SpeakPipe, and we'll put that up at the end of this segment. But I would love to know from you, when you are at these crossroads and
Mhm.
you are feeling that anxiety,
Mhm.
either now that you've heard some of this or you've made thousands of decisions,
Yeah.
right? And so, what has worked for you that propels you from the crossroad onto a path finally?
Yeah. Definitely checking in with myself and taking a minute to just think about it, to talk to myself about it, like just sitting with it. That has definitely helped. Um, what has also helped is just making a decision and seeing what happens. Honestly, jumping out the plane. Like sometimes
Mhm.
that the life experiences has taught me a lot.
Mhm.
So I can say that just choosing has helped. Um, Talking to my sisters and just getting their input, talking to my therapist. So all the things, all the resources have helped me to make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So you are tooled and equipped and
Yeah.
supported.
Supported.
I love that you don't have to be in a vacuum
Yeah.
necessarily, but you are, based on your past experiences, they inform you.
Yeah.
Based on the people you choose to share with,
Yeah.
they can help inform your decisions. So I love that.
And honesty. Like, I think the biggest thing for me is just figuring out what my truth is and communicating that truth. If it involves another person, communicating that truth to the other person. So just being honest, that's probably the biggest part too.
Yeah, that's good. Honest with yourself and the people around you. That's so good.
Yeah.
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 Because that'll lead the way. If I'm tapped in and honest, a path will be made clearer.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm talking about it. I'm putting out there where I am up here. So
Yeah.
now I can see what makes sense to me out here. That's
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
So for me, I have two big rocks that are helping me. And I think it falls under the category of demystifying my crossroads.
I like that.
That whole idea of lifting the fog or the cloud that you just talked about, like,
Yeah.
what helps me see this more clearly?
Yeah.
What helps me give myself a different perspective on these options? And honestly, for me, it's understanding my options and exploring my options. It's very similar to what you just said,
Mm.
understanding my options and exploring them. Under understanding them, based on who I am and what I value and what I want in life, which one of these makes sense to me? Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like today. And that's today. Like, you know what I'm saying? I might feel differently next month or next year because I will have evolved and changed and I'm not going to stay the same. But today and in this season, when I need to make this decision, what do I value? For me right now, freedom is a very important value of mine.
Mhm.
Safety is also an important value. So that's why it's a little bit of a struggle for me right now, because safety and freedom are values of mine. So I
Mm.
want to be free, but I want to feel safe, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
and I have to be honest about that juxtaposition that's happening in my life. I'm not either or. I'm both of them
Yeah.
right now. But that helps me see I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this.
Yeah.
And then I those are made clearer to me. And then after that, it really is explore, which just try a road, try
Yeah.
a road,
Yeah.
see, reflect on it, get a feel for it. If it's working, keep it up. If it's not working, pivot, because I got some other options, you
Yeah.
know? And
You
yeah, please go ahead.
to say when you were talking about that safety and free, the visual came to me of skydiving, because even though I jumped out of the plane, I had the safety conversation, and I was, I had the man on my back who was more experienced so that I could be free, but I was still safe because I had a more experienced person that was jumping with me. So it was like a both and. So it just made me think about that.
So I don't want to cry again,
Yeah.
because I just need to say it's at least a couple of years since I've said this out loud. And I wasn't thinking about skydiving when you just said this, but ever since you've done it, I've been like, I need to experience that. And I think based on where I am in my life, it would be symbolic of the
Yeah,
both
for
and it
sure.
it
Yeah.
would help propel me. Because I've heard you talk about how it was a physical act that you did, but
Yes,
it spilled over into mindset and so many other things about your life.
absolutely. And I use it's a staple for me of freedom, and what I revert back to a lot, just to show what I'm capable of, and who I am. So yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so that's big. So I need to put that in the world. I've done, yeah, so I need to put that in the world. I'm just saying that. Putting that in the circle. We're having a circle right now.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. And yeah, you gave me a thought. So the
Mhm.
just exploring my options and understanding them. And I think also what scares us sometimes is probably what we need to jump into, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
either what scares you the most or what makes you smile. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it's just about doing something fun that you enjoy, that it may seem silly, it may seem unrelated, it may seem like, that's not the real answer, but do that cuz it just feels good, you know?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love it. I
Yeah.
love
This
it.
felt good to have this we went a lot of places
Yeah,
just
both us crying and stuff, girl. We did it. Yes.
crying and giggling. We did that.
I
So
love it.
we do want to know from y'all what you think about being at the crossroads. We see you at the crossroads. We know you got decision upon decision to make. And how are you handling it? What kind of decision maker are you? What works for you? What has you anxious or fearful at your crossroads right now? Talk to us at speakpipe.com/real women real talk, or email us at info@realwomenrock.org. We would absolutely love to hear from you.
Mhm.
Thank you, sister. That was good. I got that off my chest.
Yeah.
Needed that. So, we are in our third segment, and this is one of my favorite. It is putting ourselves in his, her, their shoes. And it's our opportunity to bring a scenario to bear so that we can find out how we would handle something that maybe someone else has dealt with. And I got something totally different today, sister.
Okay, let's get it.
Totally different, child. And I'm not going to put it on the screen. I could, but I think it's going to be too small.
Okay.
And those who are listening are going to just have to listen anyway.
Mhm.
But so this put yourself in their shoes is a choose your own adventure book. Have you
Okay.
ever done those?
No, I never heard of it until you mentioned it before. Yeah.
Okay, I'm so excited. So I would like for somebody just to tell me, please, that you read these because I was an avid reader and I so Sweet Valley High books and like all of the teenager books. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, and all of those Beverly Cleary books, all of
Yeah.
those things. I read all of those, and this was one of them. It was a choose your own adventure series. And with these books, you read a few pages in, and after you get to a certain point where the book gives you a couple of options. You can either do this or you do that. And if you do this, go to this page. If you do this, go to that page. So you can change your endings several times in this one book.
Yeah.
Really fun. So
Yeah.
I want to do that really quickly. Okay.
Okay, let's
All
go.
right. So let's go. And I'm going to use a website. I will shout them out. choose-your-adventure.com.
Okay.
And I'm using the kids section. So they have some racy ones. They have some sci-fi ones. They have mystery thrillers.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a fun, cute one for the sake of this. Put myself in her shoes. All right.
Okay.
All right, so this is called the Time Traveling Treehouse,
Mm.
and it starts like this. You and your three best friends, Alex, Mia, and Jack, are exploring the woods behind your neighborhood one afternoon when you stumble upon a mysterious treehouse nestled high in the branches of a giant oak tree. The treehouse is unlike anything you've ever seen before. The wood is smooth to the touch, and the door is carved with intricate designs that seem to glow with an otherworldly light. You can feel a strange energy emanating from the treehouse as if it's calling to you. Do you open the door and step inside, or do you decide to come back later and explore more of the woods first?
Let's go on in that door. Let's
Yeah,
go.
we going in the door. We going in. Okay. All right. As you open the door and step inside the treehouse, you feel a sudden rush of wind and a blinding flash of light. When
Mm.
the light fades, you find yourself standing in the middle of a bustling market in ancient Egypt. Girl, you didn't time travel. The air is thick with the smell of spices, and the colorful stalls are piled high. What's so funny is I can imagine this because we went to Morocco. So that's what
I'm
I'm thinking in my head.
looking at
Okay.
it.
And, and piled high with exotic fruits and textiles. You can hear the sounds of camels and horses and the chatter of merchants and shoppers all around you. Here are
Mm.
your choices.
Okay.
Do you explore the market and meet some of the locals, or try to find a way back to the treehouse and return to your own time?
We in here now. We are exploring, baby. Let's go. Let's get
Let's go. We going. Okay, we going. Okay, here we go. As you explore the market, you meet a friendly merchant named Ahmed who offers you, this is Morocco,
right.
who offers to show you around and teach you about an ancient Egyptian culture. You learn about the pyramids, the pharaohs, and the importance of the Nile River.
Mm.
Ahmed even invites you to his home for dinner, where you taste delicious local cuisine. I did not make this up. Where
Couscous.
yes, couscous. Where you taste inside joke. Where you taste delicious local cuisine and meet his family. He does have a family that you get to meet.
Okay.
Do you stay for dinner and spend the night at Ahmed's house?
Oh. Oh.
Mm. Or do you thank Ahmed for his hospitality and try to find a way back to the treehouse? So you've already done the dinner, the learning, the all of that, meet the family. Do you stay and complete the whole? Well, he invites you to dinner where you can taste the thing, but It
Yeah.
looks like you stay for dinner and spend the night, or you thank him for his hospitality and find your way back to the treehouse.
Now, see, I think I'm a, man, this is where we're gonna part ways. Thank you so much for this. I'm gonna go try my way now. I ain't gonna overstay my welcome now. I think that's all
Yes,
here.
man.
Okay.
There's some freedom here, but I also got a parachute. I
You
don't usually
know,
like parachute.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you've chosen to go back. So you wander through the crowded streets of the market trying to find your way back to the treehouse. But no matter which direction you go, you can't seem to find it. As
Mm,
the sun begins to set, you start to feel a bit nervous. What
yeah.
if you're stuck in ancient Egypt forever? So this is
Oh,
going to be, I think, our next to the last choice. Do you ask someone for directions to the treehouse? Or do you find a safe place to spend the night and try again in the morning?
I think I would find a safe place to spend the night and try again in the morning. If I looked, I'm tired, so I probably just need to relax and try again in the daylight.
Gotcha. Okay, let's see. Okay. So you find a cozy spot under a tree and settle in for the night. You share snacks and stories with your friends because your friends are with you, I guess. Y'all decide to do this together. And eventually fall asleep to the soothing sound of the stream. The next morning, you wake up refreshed and ready to continue your search for the treehouse and your way back home. So, do you head back to the village and regroup with your friends? That didn't make sense because I thought you was with your friends, but keep exploring, or do you keep exploring the woods and see what other secrets they hold?
I will go back to my friends, and now I'm wondering why I just ain't stay where I made at his house since I stayed instead of staying the night outside. But yeah, I will go back to my friends.
Girl. Okay. So it goes on and on. And so I'm gonna stop, but you get the idea.
Yeah,
Like, and what why I wanted to share not only just this is our scenario, this is our segment, but also if you're the kind of person who likes to choose your own ending, who likes those kinds of books, not only are they still available, Choose Your Own Adventure Books is the series, but also this is an online free version where you could just choose your own story. So choose-your-adventure.com and you can keep going and finish out your adventure. Was that not fun? A
that
little
was.
bit?
And now that I know what that means, they have apps. Like I have done that on different apps where you choose
Mhm.
adventure for different things. Yeah. So now that I know what that is, yeah, I like those. Yeah.
Yeah, really fun because they create the scenario and then you just
Yeah.
choose and then see what would happen and see what would
Uh-huh.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it I think it speaks to what we've been talking about this whole time that okay, if I take the safe route, what happens?
Yeah.
If I take a big risk, what happens? It just helps practice that muscle, you know?
Yeah. I like that. It makes me want to find the app that I used to play that on and do that.
Yay. Good, good, good. Well, thanks for indulging me, sister. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Hopefully, y'all got a kick out of that and you were able to say, you couldn't choose the other one if Shavon chose one, but you get the feel for it, right?
Yeah.
So, how would you handle a situation? And feel free to go to that link if you like.
Mhm.
Thank you. And what fun we have had today. We've gotten deep, we cried, we laughed, we did a whole lot this episode, sister.
Mhm. Yes,
And
we did.
so, as we get to our last segment, I would love to know what your spiritual nugget might be for us when you think about all we've discussed. Does anything come up for you?
Yeah, you know what came up for me as we were talking about being at a crossroads and the fear and anxiety that some of us experience that keeps us stagnant and paralyzes us for a little while from making a decision is forgive yourself for the decisions that you've made in the past that you're still holding over your head and that is contributing to that fear and anxiety. Forgive yourself for the decisions that you made that you're still carrying. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Mm, mm, mm. I receive it.
Mhm.
That was for me and for somebody, but that was for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. I received that.
Mhm.
I receive it as confirmation. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm,
Thank you.
yeah.
This, y'all, this is a good episode. We got all of them are good. This is good, good. Make sure you share it with somebody who needs to know they don't, they don't have to stay stagnant and stuck.
Mm,
That they get to choose.
yeah.
Thank y'all so much for being with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please go back, listen to our other episodes. Like, follow, and share where we are on social media. We are at all the places on social media. Just look up Real Women Rock. You will find us. Go to our website and you will get directed to all of the places that you can find us. In addition to getting more information about our sister circles, we have them in person and we also have them virtually, so that no matter where you live, if you're not in the areas where we have physical circles right now, you can still join us. And so we invite you to be there with us in person. And we have one coming up, I think, at this taping at the end of the month, right? A virtual. So please join us. Oh my God, can I just share? We're going to talk about father wounds.
Father wound. Yeah. We're going to dig deep into the impacts of the father wound and just some tools for healing. Yeah.
Yeah. So join us. Go to realwomenrock.org for more information. And we would absolutely love for you to join us in a sister circle. If you need a bit of planning, or if you really want to dig into who we are and what we do, come spend a weekend with us in November, November 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We are going to be in Cambridge, Maryland. If you've never been to the Hyatt Regency Chesapeake Bay, it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. You're going to enjoy the location, but you will also be blown away by our intensive. We are calling it the Win Her Circle, the road to capturing the gold, and we will spend the entire weekend laughing, dancing, connecting, but also doing a lot of what you just experienced in this circle, where we're going to grow together and learn from each other. So please feel free to join us. Register now.
Mhm.
Group rates are about to close. Early registration is about to close, and we only have limited seating. So we like for you to be a part of what we're doing. Please feel free to join us. Thank you, sister, for everything,
Yes,
for
thank you.
this. Yeah, this is a good one. We love y'all. We can't wait to see you next episode. Take care until then.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.